Ms. Job-Davis, the past agreement with Sandals initially said, we provide the real estate and capital for the infrastructure. Sandals would provide the brand management. Sandals had also requested concessions, tax holidays, duty-free status, unlimited work permits for foreigners, and no obligation to local employment. If consultations move forward, should a new relationship be explored, and what should it include?
Okay, so Aisha, before I answer that, let's look at the Sandals concept historically. You know, as we were saying initially, Sandals started in Jamaica because there was an issue with crime in their industry. That was years ago, way in the 1990s or somewhere around the 1980s, 1990s. And Butch Stewart, in his wisdom, borrowed the Club Med concept, which is an all-inclusive concept. So Sandals, in effect, is an all-inclusive hotel. What does that mean? It means that nothing comes here. The packages are purchased outside. Everything is purchased outside. So Sandals' money stays outside.
Okay.
Sandals gets all the concessions that we have. The 20-year tax holiday, and everything else you said that they wanted, including, if you're telling me, we're going to build the hotel as we did with Hyatt. We built Hyatt, I think. The government had built Hilton and I think Magdalena. Magdalena, and that is instructive to us because Magdalena had the Hilton name on it. What happened? Hilton took its name and walked away. Mm-hmm. The hotel is still there. Yeah? And so generally, what we learned historically, and if people get history, we're going to have a problem. And it's not just the hotels. Because when we give the permission to purchase hotels, to build the hotels, we give them tax holidays, which I think now it used to be 15%, now I think it's gone up to 20 or 25, I'm not sure. And so they have that. So during that period, they do not pay taxes.
But let me ask you a question. You're looking at it historically.
No, I'm coming. It's happening now. It's happening now. They don't pay taxes.
But can Tobago negotiate a different deal that is normal? Do you see that happening?
No.
Okay.
Because that's what you do for hotels, generally.
Oh, that is what you do for hotels?
Generally, yes, to get them to invest. Okay. You give them the land, and they probably would have built. But now we are giving them the land, based on what you just said. And
no, that was the last agreement. And we still have to negotiate what the new agreement would be. And I want to make that very clear.
Okay.
We're looking at the 2019 difficulties that
all
we
right,
had.
so forget that.
Yes.
Right? So the tourism industry is labor intensive. One. Now, you employ a whole bunch of people. Tobago is 116 square miles. The question is, do we need the Sandals concept here in Tobago? And the concept, like I said before, is beachfront, and also the all-inclusive means that everything stays outside.
Okay.
They have their own purchasing arrangement. Will they be purchasing the agricultural supplies?
I think we have to negotiate that.
Yeah, but no. It's the negotiation is one part of it. How are we going to do it? You see, so this is not a today for tomorrow thing. All right. So if we're gonna negotiate, we're gonna have farmers ready with produce on as needed. All right. What the hotels sometimes fail to do is to pay the price that the farmers need. So the farmers will tell you that.
Okay.
Yeah. They're not willing to pay the price. So they want it at a certain price. And now you import everything. Tourism, as far as we're concerned, who studied tourism? May I say that tourism is my first degree, management. Yes. I graduated from the University of West Indies. All right? So the thing with that is, if we give our Sandals the permission to construct, what happens? Sandals becomes the destination. The destination is not Tobago. You could put how much Tobago you want on it. The destination is Sandals. We're going to probably see them bringing hundreds of people. Yeah? The thing is, what would they require from Tobago? What do we get from Sandals?
So all these things are things that you think should be asked as part
But
of the
the
process.
thing is, it's not asked because it's what's happening. When I went to study, we had to do internship. They told me I didn't have to do it because I worked in tourism. But I said I must go because I never worked in a hotel. And I chose to work in an all-inclusive hotel, which is Breezes.
Okay.
Which is the same Jamaican brand, Breezes with hedonism and all of that.
Yes.
So I worked in Breezes, Bahamas, and all-inclusive. So the visitors come, and they pay for their food, their drinks, everything they're drinking and eating whole day, whole night, vomit down the place. You have to clean it up, drink again, vomit and go home.
Okay.
You understand? So they have already paid for everything. The only thing that we may probably get is maybe tours. So Mr. George may get to do the big word tours that he's talking about there.
Okay, the balloons.
But they pay for everything.
Okay.
It's done.
Okay.
Yeah? And so even though it is labor intensive, what do we get from Sandals? Our people would still be waiters, waitresses, yardmen, best boy, drag the bags, kind of thing.
And you don't see any way around that in the consultation and negotiations?
Well, the thing is, do we want to consult? Where is the tourism policy that the Tobago House of Assembly has? What the Bahamas did though, and Sandals didn't build anything because at that point in time when Sandals and Breezes moved into the Bahamas, I was told, because I inquired, those two properties were just rotting. You know, people come, they spend their how much years and they go.
It was a good opportunity to
Right, so Sandals, right,
okay.
So Sandals got those, and Sandals Royal Bahamian is a classic hotel.
It is.
Yeah, so understood. But the Bahamian government negotiated and said and told them, listen, the only people you bring in here is, I think it's 2 or 3 top managers. All the other managers are Bahamians. So housekeeping, front desk, everybody else. Chefs, you have, and in addition to that, the Bahamian tourism industry has a really strong union. In Tobago, if you try to unionize the hotel, the snitch gonna tell somebody in management and they shut it down because they tried to unionize the hotels here before and it did not work. Okay. So the Bahamian hotel, when Sandals was doing something across there, I think it's last year they were doing something and they shut down the hotel. The people, the industry decided, look, we're not gonna work. And they did that for several other hotels. So the thing is, what we need here, Aisha, in Tobago, is a tourism policy. And the reason why they couldn't go to Dominica is it's not because they didn't want to go, they went. And Eugenia Charles was Prime Minister at the time. And she said, listen, if you come here, you're gonna build along our lines, okay? And so they couldn't because she's not giving them beachfront because those beachfront properties were, not the properties, the beachfront was part of the tourism product.
Okay.
Now, the final thing I want to see on this is, why did I lose my point?
Is it the idea we were talking about where the PM says the line of communication for this project is through central government?
No.
The idea of Sandals falls under tourism, which is smack dab under the remit of the THA. Is it a national issue, or is it a Tobago House of Assembly issue, or is it one of those issues you can't really tell?
I worked, and I was privileged to work directly under former chairman of the Assembly, A.N.R. Robinson. Mm-hmm. They couldn't do that if he was here.
In terms of they take the lead?
Yeah, they couldn't do that. Because we are responsible. So what is happening here? And if we have a tourism policy that says, listen, we need to develop tourism so that our people could own the industry, which is really what tourism should be all about. So when you want to tell me that you have to bring all these massive hotels, what we need is quality, right? And the other thing is, you are coming down on the west, yeah? And the west is already overloaded. What happening to Tobago East? What we're doing is lopsided development, right? So the whole of the west going through. In addition to that, it is going to put a strain on how much rooms I bring in? It's going to be a strain on our utilities, particularly water. Right now, Aisha, I don't know about you, it's 2 days a week we get water. 2 days. You understand? So where they're getting the water from, and all of these things have to be considered.